So I had an idea based on a picture that I found on Pinterest and I have had saved for a very long time. It is a entirely pearl snood. And so because that's such an odd word, I thought it would be fun to do a little bit of research and present you with some cool information about snoods. In the 30s and the 40s is when they were most popular. The snood was also popular during the Victorian era and during World War II. And I'm sure you could guess why. For World War II, women were working in factories and needed a way to keep their hair out of the way so that it didn't get caught in any machinery. By the way, the source for this information is Britannica.com if you wanted to look it up and read more yourself. And we do actually see snoods in fantasy themed movies that are supposed to be during Elizabethan or older eras. The picture of the snood that I have been inspired by unfortunately does have licensing, and so I can't use the picture in my video safely. I don't want to accidentally get in trouble for using it, but basically it looks like a hood and it's entirely made of pearls. So I drew you a picture, a very rough sketch of what it kind of looks like. The definition of snood when you look it up on Google is, and I'm gonna read this to you from my notes here because I don't wanna mess it up. So it is an ornamental hairnet or fabric bag worn over the hair at the back of a woman's head. Here's the thing, my inspiration photo is a full hood, not just on the back of the head. According to the website where my inspiration photo comes from, the full hood of pearls is actually a snood. And I'm assuming it's because of the netting structure of the hood. But we are going to call it a snood. That is what we are going to call this project. First, we're going to start by blowing up a balloon to about the same size as my head, and then we are going to try some techniques for sewing beads together. The reason I am blowing up a balloon, I don't think I even said, is because I don't have a mannequin head and I need something to drape it across while I'm working on it. When I was little, I had this balloon that I kept until it deflated, and I named it Stinky the balloon because you know how balloons smell like rubber and it's not a good smell. So I named it Stinky. Anyways, every time I have a balloon, I name it Stinky. It's just a tradition now. So obviously, we have to draw a face on this balloon and name it Stinky. There's Stinky. We're ready with our mannequin head. I watched a tutorial, and in the tutorial they said you have at the end of your string a stop bead. So we are gonna create our stop bead first. So they said to string it on and then loop it through and pull tight. And that creates the stop bead. They said you can pull through twice if you want it to be really strong. And I don't want this falling apart on me, so I'm gonna pull through 2 times. We've got to pick our pattern for mixing the gold beads in with the pearls. Maybe we could do 5 pearls and a gold bead. And I'll come back to you when the full string is done. So we have our first string here. And if we divide it in half right like that, and put the top at the top of my head, it hangs to about the length that I was hoping for. Now I'm gonna do the second string, and it's gonna be the same exact thing as this one, except I'm going to start sewing the big beads in the middle and attaching it to this. But we have our first 5 pearls on the second string, and here's where we're gonna try to attach the second string to the first string. So I'm going to take a big pearl like this. And this is an experiment, by the way. I have no idea if this is going to work, but I'm really hoping it does. We're gonna put it on our new string. Here's what it looks like at the moment. Then I'm going to take the needle of the new string and pass it through the 5th pearl of the 1st string. Here's what it looks like. Oh gosh, focus. There we go. And so what I'm going to do now is with the gold string, I'm going to pass it back through the pearl, the big pearl, and keep going with the new string. I'll update you when we get a few more on and you can really see the pattern that I'm trying to go for. So here is the first piece complete. What I want to do now is tape the headpiece to our balloon in the orientation that it will be when it is on someone's head, so that it's easier for me to continue the rest of the weaving here. Something has definitely happened to our Stinky here. She is way smaller than before, so she is deflating, but you can see our front piece there, and here is the string that goes on the bottom back. And so now all we're gonna do is create a netting that goes and connects between the two. So here's the first row of netting going back from the front of the headpiece. This is the next row that I've begun. So you might notice that we're not in the craft room and we're also not using a balloon anymore. And this is my husband, and he has graciously agreed to be a mannequin head for me so I can finish sewing. It was just really apparent that the balloon shape is not a head shape. Okay. Here we go. The problem is that I did not make the chain longer. So this loop is essentially the same size as this one. Okay, we've got it back down to just the front part and the bottom band, and we've got to come up with a new plan for how this is gonna work. This isn't working.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Your stupid little idea of a pearl snood never will work. This video is pointless and a waste of time. I don't know what you're talking about, Stinky number 1, but I think we've got a chance. Let's try something new.
Okay, that skit might have been really painful to watch, and I'm kind of sorry. If you like silly skits and making big mistakes, then you like me. And if that's the case, then maybe you should subscribe and like this video. This is as far as we've gotten. It's not working. There's a huge problem. This is what it looks like on my head right now, and you're gonna immediately see the problem when I turn around. I mean, it's cute from the front, but as soon as I turn, you can see that there's this huge piece missing, right? And the way that I have been sewing the beads on is I've been starting at these big beads on the bottom, making a chain of them all the way across, and joining them to the previous chain to create diamond shapes. But since the big beads are getting fewer and fewer, I'm just going to have one really long loop with an empty gap in the back. I don't know how to fix this problem. I tried like 3 different ways and none of those worked. I'm gonna say that this is a project that I just am not capable of doing at this time. Instead of giving up, like Little Miss Stinky #1 suggested, we are going to try something else. We're going to try making an actual snood, a crocheted snood, and then we're going to sew pearls onto it to decorate it. So even though this project didn't end up the way that I envisioned it from the beginning, I am so happy that the beading didn't work out because I got to try crocheting and I actually really liked it. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey. I am glad I got to share this experience with you all, and I'll see you in the next one.